Jones joins you now here on 105.3 The Fan. And a good afternoon, sir. How the heck are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. Ready to move forward and play this game Monday.
Yes, sir. You feel like it's been a good week, and the players and everybody is in the right mindset to go out there and get a dub now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we all understand our business. We all know it's a long season. We all know this thing ebbs and flows as these seasons go. I just heard you talking about the Chiefs, and everybody wants to, after each week, really say, hey, this is what they are. The great thing about the NFL is we all know, we started out and people were pointing at us, and or Buffalo, and then Buffalo lost, and then they were pointing at us, and then back to Buffalo, and then to Miami. And, that's a great thing about our game is after each weekend, everybody's got an opinion of who's going to win it all. And the good news is we got, 12, 13 more weeks of this before we even start the playoffs. And our guys understand this. Our coaching staff does. We as an organization understand. But certainly a big disappointment last weekend, but we've got to move forward, and we will, and we like our football team.
Do you think the offense needs more time to come together?
I think it'll just get better. I mean, anytime you make some changes and do some things that are, different than what they've been accustomed to, I mean, that's one of the big reasons when Mike came in here, he kept Kellen, was Dak was comfortable with him. And, felt like rather than, immediately start over, that it was better to keep Kellen and go from there. But as they went through and, each year passed and we transformed a little bit, felt like it was the right time to make the move. And certainly there's some growing pains. Before last weekend, we were moving the ball and executing. We just weren't executing in the red zone. And unfortunately, last week we ran up against a hell of a football team, a hell of a defense, and it magnified the fact that we've got to continue to execute and get better. But no question, we will.
You hear coaches say all the time after tough losses like that, you can learn valuable lessons about yourself as a team. What were you guys able to take away and learn from going back and watching the tape and studying how that went in San Fran?
I think the biggest thing is just execution. I mean, we've got to. You've got to execute the offense. You've got to, you've got to roll this thing to as close to perfection as you can get it. And we've got some really good football players, but we didn't make some plays at some opportune times. On the defensive side, we had some big stops, but unfortunately, we committed some penalties, at the wrong time. I think we ended up. Each team had 6 penalties, but ours were at times that. Kept their drives alive that ultimately led to scores. So, we just have to continue to get better as a football team. I like the makeup, the football character of this team. I'm convinced, that as we move forward, we should just continue to get better, especially offensively. And I think defensively, we know the things we have to clean up and feel like we'll do that.
Certainly a tough loss there with LVE. How is the health of the team right now? We saw a pretty lengthy injury report yesterday.
Yeah, I think overall we know we're not going to have CJ, and we know we're not going to have LVE, and we put him on IR, DTR. Same thing with CJ. But the good news is we moved Nashawn Wright, who we think a lot of, both special teams, and he's even a better skill set to actually play corner, and then. Certainly this is going to give some guys an opportunity to step up. We'll miss Leighton, but feel like this group will step up. Damone will get more reps, and certainly guys like Bell and, our other linebackers are going to get some opportunities here. So, overall, I think we'll rebound, and most of the guys should be back, and feel like, that we'll be ready to go Monday. We know Kellen knows this team well, and certainly it'll be a challenge. I know he'll want to, not that he doesn't every weekend, but he'll want to certainly have his team playing well, and we look forward to it.
You brought in Rashaan Evans. What did you guys like about him, and do you think that he's a guy that you're going to throw in immediately to get some playing time?
it may take a week or so before he's ready to go, but I feel like he fits what we want to do defensively in terms of the skill sets. He can run. Obviously, that's a prerequisite for any player that plays for Dan, unless you're going to be one of those big run-stopping defensive tackles. Speed and agility and that type of thing are going to be big. But right now, we'll probably, when Monday rolls around, be probably going with the guys who have been have been on the roster.
Do you feel like you guys need a win or a really good showing on Sunday to get back on track?
You always need a win. I mean, we all know how hard it is to win, but you always go out there to win the game, and that's obvious. But it's hard to win games in this league. We all know that. But I know this: they put in a great week of practice, and feel like Button will play well.
Have the injuries on defense hit a tipping point where it changes what your ceiling is or how good you can be?
No, I think we will continue to play well. There's we saw, as I said, a lot of good things on tape. I mean, we held, McCaffrey to 20 carries for, less than 60 yards. And had you told me that before the game, I'd say, well, that's a great start to us winning the football game. But, there's some other things we have to do, whether it's cleaning up the penalties or making some making some big plays. We only turned the ball over one time on the defensive side, and certainly, as the game went on, I think we felt more compelled to take risk and resulted in us turning over the ball. You lose a turnover battle to a really good football team like the 49ers, and, things aren't going to work. That's been what we fed off of for most of this season. When we win that turnover battle and good things happen on the defensive side of the ball, the scoop and scores and pick sixes, then we're on the right side of the equation. So, all these are things we know we've got to focus on and continue to get better. We know it's a long season, and we look forward to competing each and every week.
It's Stephen Jones here with you on 105.3 The Fan. Monday Night Football this week, and it'll be a lot of fun with the nation's attention on you. Now, I'll be the first to admit, Stephen, I'm not a coach, and I can get in trouble when we talk about this stuff with coaches, but it's interesting.
We'll get together. I'm not a coach either.
Okay, right on. Well, you have an inside lane to talk with these guys. It's just interesting that as the best offenses are getting more and more active pre-snap, 4 play callers in a row for the Cowboys, going back to Jason, have settled on less motion. And is there a common theme that brings it back there, or is that just a coincidence they all have decided that?
Well, I think these things evolve. I mean, this is, everybody will say it. It's a copycat league, whether it's how you handle the salary cap, whether it's how you acquire personnel, whether it's the defensive schemes or the offensive schemes, whether it's lots of motion or less motion. I think those are all things that play into the strategy of putting together a championship team. Certainly, going against guys like a Shanahan, and then you look around the league at some of these younger guys like a Daniels and a McVay, they certainly rely on a lot of motion. And, I do know those things can be challenging, but, there's also, other ways to have success. So, you continue to look at how people are having success. You certainly include those things as you move forward where you think they can be good fits for you. And just as, what we're doing as a football team. And, it's very interesting how you ultimately end up with the right mix. But, these things evolve over time. And I know a lot of guys are on it and feel really good about our coaching staff between Coach McCarthy and, Dan Quinn and Bones. We've got a great group of guys back there that, with their staffs that are really giving us and giving our players the best opportunity to have success.
Stephen, your phone's breaking up a little bit, but we got most of that answer, and we really appreciate your insights. We just want to wish you nothing but the best out there. Give them hell.
Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.